Hey, this is Mr. Elmhorst with a sixth grade math lesson. We're going to take a look at the area of a trapezoid. So just take a minute to read through the notes up above. The area of a trapezoid is going to be half its height multiplied by the sum of the lengths and the two bases. So what that means is, now what's going on with this, the trapezoid is going to be an irregular shape. But what we're going to focus on is, go ahead and draw down through the midsection of that triangle. The area of the trapezoid is going to be formulated by multiplying base times height, just like a rectangle. But the trapezoid has little triangle corners on the edges that don't exactly match up with a rectangle. So how do we do that? How do we compare a trapezoid to a rectangle? We are going to deconstruct it visually, take these triangles off, and then flip it around. So if we cut the little triangles on the corner off and flip them around, what shape are we going to end up with? A rectangle, which is just base times height. Well, instead of mathematically always relying on the visual, cutting things off, mathematically, how we cut it off and average them out is we add the two base lengths, we divide the base lengths by 2, and then that'll give us just one usable base length, and then we multiply by the height. All right, so instead of reconstructing all of that, we're going to use the formula. Base 1 and base 2 are going to be perpendicular to the height. Fill it in. Base 1 and base 2 are going to be perpendicular to the height. So right here we have a side length, we have a side length, and those are parallel, but also perpendicular to the height. So we're going to use the short one as base 1, the long one as base 2, and what's the height? The two base lengths are 14 centimeters away. So now we just process that formula. 9 plus 15, 24. We leave the 14 in there. And we do not forget the 1/2 part of it. So the 1/2 is taking half of the total length of the two bases to come up with one usable average base length. So what's half of 24? 12. And let's just add that in there, just put in there area equals. And we got to do 14 times 12. All right, once we multiply it out, we add it up, we're going to get area is equal to 168. Go back to the unit of measures. The unit of measure is centimeters. And we multiplied centimeters times centimeters, so now we got centimeters 2, or centimeters squared. All right, I'm going to move this out of the way just for the next one. Now, the base lengths are interchangeable. You're just going to add them, 42 and 36. But as a habit, I like to do the short one as base B1. What's the short base measure? So we're going to fill in the formula. What's the long base measure? 42. Now, just to check, what if I put another measurement over here? Is that measurement parallel or perpendicular? No. Okay, we need parallel, two parallel bases, and the perpendicular measurement as the height going between them. We need square measurements. Over here, if let's say I put 28 over here, this is not a square angle. So the side measure would not be used. Now go ahead and add them up. 36 plus 42. rewrite the area formula. What was that, 78? For this step, you can either multiply 78 times 24 and then divide by 2, but could we apply mental math and take 1/2 of 24 first? What's half of 24? 12. So we could divide something by 2 before instead of multiplying and then dividing by 2 later. So 78 times 12 would give us the total area. Okay, I'm checking your answer. We should have two multiples, a two-digit number, so we should have 2 rows down below. And how many total square inches do you need to cover that surface? 936. Just our third example, best example. This one you have to do a little bit of mental math. In order to get the total length down here, if this side is 12, then this side's going to be 12. So what's the short base length? No, 12. What's the long base length? 18. 12 and 6 together is going to be 18. Now the parallel sides need to be perpendicular to the height. What's the height? Use the formula, fill in the information, and now we just go through our order of operations. Parentheses 12 plus 8, 30. Do not forget the 1/2. Now you could do half of 30. I kind of like doing half of 8. 8 divided by 2 is going to give you 4. So now you just have 30 times 4. So the area is equal to 120. What's the unit of measure? Centimeters, and area is squared or a little exponent of 2.